And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey. This is kind of an impromptu show. Uh, just to say thank you to 40,000 people for hitting the little red subscribe button to our channel. I think it's blows me away when I think about where Linda and I started doing this. So that's what this is we invited a few friends to tell a few stories. This is not going to be a hey, way to go Bigfoot Odyssey show. I made sure and asked Daniela not to do that because you guys do that for us all the time. So I was hoping that we get some people in here to tell a couple stories and just for us to say thank you guys for supporting what we're doing here and for showing up every time we go live. You guys show up, and Daniela does. This wouldn't happen without her. None of it. So it's a huge thank you to her, from especially from me and Linda and Brad and our Jackie, Iron Dogger, and the people who do the behind the scenes producing for the travel show. So it's
teamwork, though, isn't it? We all chip in.
Yeah,
We all chip in. So everybody's doing something.
I think I got pretty lucky. I did. I feel really fortunate that things turned out the way they did with getting you to do the show with me originally. You know, if you go watch our first few shows, if you want to call them shows, really, it's more like a telephone conversation than anything, I think. But not that this is not much more than that, but I think we've progressed somewhat. But we've got some people joining us here from Rooted Expositions. I do that every time. Like I just get how to speak all of a sudden. Rooted Expeditions. It's that channel, not the other one, Rooted Expositions. Yeah. That is here with us. And of course, Mr. Brent Thomas, the Paranormal Portal. You do
Thanks for having me.
3 shows a week now live on YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And then we do the podcast one time a week on Sunday nights is released as well. So right now we're at 4 shows.
Yes. And it's, to me, that's what I was telling Brent earlier, as you know, there's something to be said about exposure. And if you can getting noticed on YouTube is hard to do, but we've been lucky enough to have friends and get to know people that have helped us. Wes Germer is huge in helping us get out there. Cam from Dixie Cryptid, of course. Those will probably be the 2 biggest ones, I think. Nance has helped us out a lot. Buckeye Bigfoot, you know, those just getting us out there. But you guys hit the button, and look, I hold no illusions about people subscribing to us for the live show. The majority of people subscribe to us for our documentaries, for our produced stuff, and they show up every time we put one out. They do it. They watch it. So huge thanks to you guys just for doing that. And when we go live, people show up too. So it's very humbling. If you're not humbled by it, there's something wrong with you. You have an ego problem, which I might have. I might very well have it. Try to beat that guy down.
I think you're pretty humble, though. I think when it comes overall, I think you're pretty humble when it comes to all of this, and you're pretty transparent as well. So
yeah, I'm the most humble person you ever want to meet.
That's funny.
I'm so humble. Oh, man, I'm the best, most humble person. I'm the best at being humble. Ever. No doubt.
I mean, there really is something very cool that you guys have built, though. I mean, not only in the of course, the documentaries have been an amazing thing. I've really enjoyed every one of them that I've ever watched, and that's not an easy feat. I mean, to keep doing these over and over and continue to have just a great take on these things and a great on location things. But this live shows, I think, are wonderful as well, in that, you know, both you and Danielle are very down to earth people. I mean, you're not coasting in with an ego or putting on a shtick or anything. It's just you guys talking about this subject that clearly means so much to you.
That's true. That it does. More than just the subject. It's for me and for Daniela too. Daniela doesn't care about Sasquatch any more than I do. What we care about are the people and that's it. And what we can do to help them, because that is truly our focus, is to help as many people as we possibly can. Just getting as much word out, as much information as possible. Call it information, entertainment. If it's that, we try to make it dynamic. Daniela comes up with ideas all the time that we never do. But we work a few of them in. Drawing Bigfoot, that's her. That's all Daniela. Sunday encounters, we've turned into Wednesday encounters sometimes when we don't have a researcher to have on and researcher report. So we try to have not just to sit down and do the same old thing. I try really hard not to regurgitate the same thing all the time, but being positive is a huge thing for us, because positive and negative thinking are two sides of the same coin. We're in control of the flip. So it's hard to. What's that?
I was just saying, I don't think we imagined it would have evolved to the way it has it, how it's evolved, and like you say, it's important about the people now, not Sasquatch. It's the effects it's having on people and being there for them, and that's why we show up is for them, because there is a journey with this. Whether it ends in Bigfoot or not, it's, I don't know. It's just become something now that's important, to do.
And I definitely agree with you, because, just not just doing the documentaries, but actually doing the live streams has really, I felt like, helped a lot of people from just from what I've seen. It's helped so many people that have kept their own experiences in, whether if it's Sasquatch or, some type of paranormal or supernatural experience that they've had. I think, having these live streams has really helped people open up and get out of that comfort zone and feel safe to talk to people, and know it was a safe place to open up and I guess address these problems that probably somebody's been dealing with a long time. So I think it's just amazing how, like you said, how it all evolved to what it is, not just a documentary, which they're super awesome, by the way, but also just to have the awesome live streams to go with it to kind of help, I guess, not accommodate, that's not the word, but help blend it together to help people. I think that's great. I mean, that's from what I've seen. I've seen and spoken to a few people that, have said that this show has really helped them open up and feel comfortable to address the problems that they had. So it's pretty cool, I think.
We hear it. I hear it all the time. I get email after email. People call that you guys are never going to talk to or ever hear from. That and that is what kind of helps me too. As it's therapy, I guess, for me, and staying. I'd have to say, and I got an issue here. I'm gonna have to leave and come back, but I want to say this first. We try to keep things in the affirmative, and I think that's what's helped us more than anything, is try not to be negative about anything as much as we possibly can. Definitely not bash on anybody. There's no point in that, or calling somebody out for thinking they're hoaxing anything or whatever. That's not the point. The point of it is for us, it's, instead of saying, well, I can't do this, we'll say, well, I'm going to keep doing this. That's what I mean in that aspect, because it can, we don't comprehend things very well in the negative. I mean, you can't ask someone not to think about a dog. It's just impossible. You're going to think about a dog. So in doing that, it keeps your thoughts and creativity, I think, going. So it's a much greater guide to action to convert things into the affirmative. If you focus on obstacles, then all you're going to see are obstacles. We focus on the path as much as we can. So, and I think we've done our best to try to forge our own. Look, it makes me proud to see things like Miguel doing the things that we started doing in the beginning, and seeing others actually taking up that mantle and doing more travel stuff and doing interviews and going to places and showing on the videos. Miguel at Sasquatch Theory, he's doing such a good job. Makes me feel like I ain't got to do it no more. But, we're gonna still do it. I'm gonna try to fix this issue. I'll be right back.
Okay, no worries. What's interesting as well is it's not just people who've had Sasquatch or paranormal experiences that benefit from these kind of episode shows. People with other stress or trauma in their life that just find some comfort in watching people being listened to or cared for or supported. So there's a real big kind of knock-on effect and a much bigger picture than what a lot of people think these shows are about. It's not just exposing someone's story and that's it, we move on. It's much deeper than that. And those that are not in the thick of it don't understand how important being here for people is in so many different ways. And it's a much larger effect than what people think it is. It's not just, we don't just turn up, do a show and that's it. It means so much to people in so many different ways that we never thought would happen like that. But it's true. It is. This is what it's doing for people. So I think what we do is important.
I think that there's especially given current circumstances and stuff, that these online communities that are formed and very much around like Bigfoot Odyssey, there's a huge community. And I think those communities are so important especially in the last year and a half, 2 years, because so many people have been cut off. They've been isolated, and the one outreach that they've had is these communities that they can go and be a part of, and at least have a socialization, reach out, make contact, share ideas, share thoughts, and have a connection. And then it's a virtual connection, but it's nonetheless connections. And I think that those, in light of the circumstances where we're all going through or have been going through, I think that now more than ever, they're incredibly important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'd say the beginning of this whole nightmare that we went through the last 2 years with being locked down actually did boost us up as far as the live show. We weren't really able to get out and do the travel shows. Of course, the way I worked, the whole live show was born out of not being able to do the documentaries the way we wanted to, by the week. It was 6 weeks, 8 weeks in between. So that's what this was really born out of, was just trying to stay relevant in the subject and just be out here to do something. And this is what it's turned into, is this. And it's, like I said, it'll set you down on your behind if you really sit back and think about it. People, we have 230 people here now, and it'll probably be twice that by the time we're done. It usually is. That show up here just to listen to what we have to say, and it just blows me away.
And the other part is that I think it sounds like 8 weeks is a long time, but really that's fast when you're considering the quality of what you're doing. And and I'm sure this is true for Birded Expeditions as well. And I can certainly say that even for regular shows, there's a lot behind the scenes that goes on, but I can't imagine the amount of work like on 168 when you had to comb through all of that material. I can't imagine. That's Herculean. And I know that of course you had several different timetables for that, but I'm surprised you got it out this year at all. To be honest with you, I don't know how you did it.
I just started going one day. I knew I'd got a lot done. I drove all the way to Florida from here. I stopped at the house, rested for a little bit, and then went on down to Florida because I wanted to get a few more shots and get a good interview with Mark and Melanie. Melanie was not feeling well, so it was just Mark. And then that's where I stayed there 5 days, and I put together the first 10 minutes, I'd say, in the first 5 days, which I changed a couple of times. Not much, but just a few words here and there, because I write everything down. I write it all out 3 or 4 times, and I'll plug a sentence in and see how that feels. And it's just the process that I go through. But for finishing it, I came back home for 1 day and then came back out to West Texas to work 12 hours a day, 12 to 14, a lot of days. And then I'd come in, just find footage that I had already gone through for the last 5 months. And I was like, okay, I remember this. I remember what happened here, and just hit upload. and then go to bed. In the morning, it would be there. I'd go to work. When I come in, I got this much footage to work with for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, put it in the timeline, go through, cut it out. The hardest part of putting all that together was sewing it together and making it flow and make sense, because there was things that were missing that should have been there that I couldn't find. And for the second part, it's going to be the same way. The difference on the second one is the upload time is going to be a lot faster. So I'll be able to go and find a clip and upload it and it be there to work on. But I was surprised it turned out the way it did. I didn't feel good when we left. I wasn't sure that we had captured anything, and we didn't capture a lot, but there was enough in it. And there's enough in it to hopefully convince a few people that this is what actually out there. But I didn't get to do it the way I wanted to. The next time we go in March, we'll film it the way I want to, because it's going to take 40 plus people to do it that way. Thank you, Robin, so much.
Thanks, Robin.
We love you too.
And that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people, like Brent says, I don't think there's too many people that really realize the amount of work that goes behind the scenes to actually see just the video itself, you know. And I mean, I was one of them. I'm still learning how to edit videos, and it's been almost 2 years. But before, just watching YouTube videos, I thought it was as simple as, yeah, just did the video and you threw it up there. I mean, that was it. And coming to find out, and it is, and you don't realize, you know, a lot of people don't realize just the amount of work and hours. I mean, hours and days that just goes into a video. I mean, the videos that I've just kind of started doing now on my channel take about 2 days just to do. You know, that's the research, that's the scripting, that's the, you know, the putting the videos together, then finding the right stuff to put along with it, you know. But yeah, I think it was well put together, especially with the amount of footage that you had. You know, it wasn't like it was just, you know, a little bit of footage here and then just try to figure out how to put that together. You had all of this evidence, all of these files that you had to filter through just to put it into a video. I think that says a lot. So
you guys should have seen the maybes. And then some that I saw that I was like, there's one right there. But I'm going to have to defend it to no end if I tell people that this is a Sasquatch standing here. Because it would just be, you could see the outline, a little bit of the face, maybe an eye, because they're trying to look like the bushes. You know, people say, well, that's just pareidolia, that's the bushes. Well, that's the idea. You know, these creatures are trying to look like the bushes. But if you kind of learn what to look for, it's off just a little bit. And if everything else is clear around it, this can't be the bushes making this shape here. But they won't move. They just statue. And fortunately enough, Mark and Melanie were happened to catch one blink. And that guy, and when you see it blink, you know that is not CGI. That is not, if you think that's CGI, you don't know how CGI works. It's not a moose. Someone said that's a baby moose. You know, at least they said it was a living creature. Sure. You know, and not just the bushes, because the bushes don't blink. The bushes don't move. They don't turn, doesn't turn its head. And if you look at these, if you can, it's hard for anybody to look at anything objectively. Well, we all have our own confirmation bias, including myself. But sure. I think in actually seeing one, that's what's helped me more than anything, because that is what I look for, is that there's no telling what I miss. I would, anybody go through, if you have the time, and go through the footage of the woods. And people say, well, why do you do that light with the dark on the outside? Because if I don't do that, I'm going to get 25 emails where people have circled 19 different creatures in that picture. And I just don't have time for it. So I just try to alleviate that as much as possible, give as much context as I can, and say, here, this is the subject. Sure. Right here. And I got it from Zasky. You know, he's the world champion at it. But the thing he did better than anybody, and still does, is getting the footage in real time, showing you what it is, and then stopping, zooming in on it slowly, and then putting the light circle there. So unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of that original footage from the stuff we got from him. All we had was the clear frame with the light stuff in it. And I should have outlined more of them. I think what I'm going to do is make a video and call it the creatures of 168 hours and just go through all the ones we showed and break them down and say, this is what we're seeing. This is what I'm looking at right here. This is why I believe it is not pareidolia. This is why I believe this is a living creature, because it's symmetrical. The face is clear to me. You know, if you know where to look and what to look for, your brain kind of starts putting things together. But YouTube, man, YouTube is one of those platforms that will set you back to 480 every time you leave it. And you come back, you're at 480. And that's that resolution's not good for what we're doing. Yeah. You gotta set yourself, uses more data when you go to 1080p.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things you got to watch in 1080 to get the full clarity of it. And then your internet connection's got to be good, because even that will take your quality down and pixelate things. And so those things we kind of deal with. A lot of comments. Look at the comments. I'd say 95% of them on that film are 100% positive. Wow, incredible. You can see this great. But then you got about 5%, which I'm feeling are having these issues. Because if they were seeing it clearly like we were, there's no way they'd be able to me, but you can deny this thing sitting over there blinking, these things moving. You know, the bushes just don't do that. I'm sorry. This is Sasquatch. Sasquatch exists, and you can catch them on camera if you work hard enough and you're out there around them long enough and you got the cameras rolling constantly. They're going to come out to watch you, and you keep your cameras still as you possibly can. Because stability is the key with digital.
I think a good takeaway too is to know that this was filmed in Florida, and to my knowledge, the only thing that there's less of in Florida than Sasquatch is moose.
That's exactly right.
There's a big moose population in Florida.
Not a single one that I believe is there that's not inside some high fence somewhere, you know, out there where we were. Yeah, there are no moose. And that's that brain disconnect that we talk about, that there are a certain amount of people, they, for whatever reason, watch and look into the subject, but it's a willingness to blind yourself to blind themselves to certain things. They don't want to see it. They don't want to believe it.
Sure.
They're taking, because it is ambiguous. It is, because the nature of the creature makes it that way. It is a mountainous task just to get in an area where they might be. You know, we were fortunate enough to already have that information from Mark and Melanie, who had been through their 7 years. They already had been through the gambit with these things. So we had a head start there. That's why I wanted to go there, because I wasn't going to do a poke and hope. I was going somewhere where I knew there would be these creatures, and all we had to do was turn the cameras on, hold them steady, and hopefully catch them peeking at us. But there's a bunch that I can see, and I'm like, yeah, there's probably one standing right there, but I couldn't show it.
Speaking of cameras, I must say, I just have to say this. That drone shot, that morning shot that you got with the fog coming through the trees, like
Pure luck.
That was a beauty shot right there. That was amazing.
That was a money
shot.
shot.
We were out till 3 a.m. that night, and we were coming in, and the fog was starting to settle in. And I was like, yeah, I need to catch this fog in the morning over the tree. So I got in my truck, which is where I slept. I couldn't sleep in my tent. These guys were talking about hearing things and having things thrown over there. I was like, I'm not going to sleep. I could be in my tent fine, but I won't sleep. So I got in my truck and I slept there, but I set my alarm 6 a.m. and I think I only hit snooze twice, because this was like day 4. I had the drone right beside me. It was charged and ready to go. So the alarm went off the third time probably. So I said, I got up. I could see the daylight coming up. So I set it out and I took it up, and I did 4 or 5 runs of that same run. And that was the best one, where the light was perfect coming through the trees. And yeah, I was proud of that one myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shot of the show, really.
That was really cool. Shout out, thank you, Johnny Diggs.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
I'm just checking on our other guests.
Oh yeah,
I have invited.
you invite some more.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Tell us the story, Brent.
Well, I actually have a story if you want. I'm putting together a podcast episode of listener emails, and I had a Bigfoot one on here, and I thought, wow, this might be perfect, and give you guys a sneak peek onto an upcoming episode. And this was submitted by Will Ulmer, and he and I have met, and he's a wonderful guy, and he sent this to me. Do you want me to read it? Really?
It's up to you, brother. I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Will writes, I thought maybe your viewers would like to hear a story from one of my outings. In May of 2015, I decided to go camping at a lake about 45 minutes away from my home. I work the graveyard shift, so when I got off work, it's pretty early in the morning. I was all packed and ready to go, so I jumped into my rig and headed off to the lake. As I turned off the main road and started heading up the mountain, I got this unsettling feeling in my gut. As I kept climbing in elevation, the low-hanging clouds were drifting through the trees, and it made it difficult to see. And didn't help that with the feeling that I was having, I was determined to camp before the weekend, even though I was going out by myself. I eventually made it to the small campground near the lake. Because I was there so early in the morning, I had the place all to myself. A storm had just blew through, and everything was wet and very quiet. As I stood looking at the lake, I had the feeling of peace, but also a slight feeling of uneasiness. After a few minutes, I chose the spot I was going to set up for the weekend. Before I even got the first things out of my car, I heard 2 loud knocks up on the hill overlooking my campsite. I waited a few minutes to see if I heard any other, but nothing more happened. I got all my gear out, started gathering the firewood, and that's when I heard a tree fall over on the hillside. Thinking it was just a tree falling over from all the rain we'd been having, I just wrote it off. About 10 minutes had passed, and I heard a second tree fall in the same area. At this time, I started thinking twice about the feeling I had earlier. I started getting a fire started, but when I heard something falling through the trees and a loud thumping sound, I turned and looked, but didn't see anything. As I was putting another log on the fire, I heard something coming through the brush. I turned quickly and saw a large rock the size of a bowling ball bouncing down the hillside and splashing into the creek next to my camp. As I looked up the hill, that's when I saw it. All I saw was a slender black figure rocking back and forth, and then it took off to the left super fast. The vegetation was thick, and I couldn't see its head or legs, but I saw an upright torso and long arms swinging behind as it ran off. I've seen plenty of black bears before, and this was no bear. The speed it had was frightening. I could hear its feet as it ran. Every sound around me went dead. The rest of the day, I didn't go far from camp. I just watched the hill. That night, I could hear distant screams on and off. The next day, I hiked up the hill where I saw it. The vegetation was so tall, and I could not see it over it to view my camp. Whatever it was had to be tall enough to see me from that spot. Later that day, I hiked 3 miles into the small mountain lake and had something paralleling me the whole time, but that will have to be a story for another time. Thanks, Will.
Wow. Look, you know how many times I've heard that? Almost the exact same thing. I mean, that seems to be, and I wouldn't say if it's, who knows if it's normal behavior or not, but it's Sasquatch behavior. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. See, I get a glimpse, see a piece of it, but you see everybody. Did you hear how he was telling that story? That's what you're going to get when you go to Paranormal Portal. Oh. Except it's not always going to be a Bigfoot story. No. It's going to be something on the fringe, we'll say.
They're very interesting, by the way. If you haven't checked them out, they're very interesting. They'll get you. Some of them will get you on the edge of your seat. Like, what?
Yeah, tonight, 9:00 p.m. Central, you guys are going live, right?
Yeah, we'll be going live. Yeah, my eldest son Sheldon is co-hosting with me tonight because Don can't make it. We got snowed up here, and Don lives out in the sticks, and he got a lot of snow.
Look, it's got cold here.
Did it?
Yes, when you're in West Texas and it gets cold because it's always windy. There are no trees here. It's just flat. It's the high plains desert, and you get in the summertime you get there's no tornadoes because I think of the elevation here. Every now and then you'll get one, but they're like off the ground. But in the wintertime, all it's got to get is about 40 with a 20-mile-an-hour wind. It cuts right through you. So it's just cold here. There's always a wind chill. And now it's 30 here. So it's very, very, it's cold.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. I do have to go and get ready for my show, but love you guys and congratulations. You guys have earned it.
Thank you, Brent. Love you, man.
All right. Well, take care, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Take it easy,
Brent.
Brent.
It's good seeing you again.
Yeah.
He's gone.
40. I mean, how's it? Like, that's a big achievement. I mean, that's a really good. That's amazing because I think I met you guys, I think when y'all were at 20, 25, just starting off. I mean, that wasn't even too long ago.
No.
March will be 4 years for us that we've been going. And we put our very first video out. And we got 2,500 subscribers in the first 2 weeks. I thought we were, sitting big. 25. I didn't expect it. I'm thinking we'll get, we'll ease along there, and then maybe eventually we'll get up maybe 10,000. We'll be sitting big, but just to be here. I mean, we did a 35,000 show, which is kind of not really a milestone, but 40 is more of a milestone. And then even 50. I think we might wait till 50 to do another one.
Well, I think 50 is coming around
if we
the
get
corner
there
pretty quick. No, I think that's going to be pretty quick. I mean, I could see, I wouldn't doubt if y'all made it to like 60 or 70 next year.
10,000 a year is what we've averaged. About 10,000 a year.
I think y'all right around the corner for 50. So, I mean, y'all are
maybe
really, I think, picking up momentum and really, really getting out there. So.
Andrew, no, I haven't. I just wanted to answer that. I haven't seen a cryptid, unless I have, and I don't know what
what you're looking at.
What you're looking at, you don't know, do you?
Yeah, but you got growled at by something.
Got growled at,
yeah,
by something, definitely.
But you think it was a big cat?
Yeah. If I'd have been into this subject back then, I'd have gone back the next day. I'd have looked for prints because it was snowing. I'd have gone to look for something, but I didn't even cross my mind to.
Yeah.
You just don't, do you?
No, there's no reason for it to. I mean, why would you want to go back where something growled at you?
That's a pretty scary story that you had there too.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's when you're questioning yourself, but you want to go. No, I definitely heard a growl. I definitely heard that. Like my body reacted. I had goosebumps. I felt fear. I felt, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't a cow or a sheep.
As you should. A growl from any animal is a warning. It's just that simple. They don't growl at you because they want you to come pet them.
No,
they want you to get away, or they're trying to get away, or they're trying to keep you from coming over to where they are. That's just how I feel about it. I might be dead wrong, but that's what makes sense to me. Something growls at you. It's a negative emotion or a protective instinct, really.
It's just very curious as to what it was protecting. You wouldn't think they were like breeding and going around in, packs or whatever. So, when I think about it, did it have a young with it? I don't know how often they can breed. This mix of big cats we've got.
I think lions are the only really big cats that run around in prides or packs or whatever you want to call them. Tigers, solo. Mountain lions, solo. Panthers, solo. Cheetahs will run with their kids usually, and then once they're gone, they're back to make some more kids and do it all over again. But it's pretty rare that you see like male female together. I'm pretty sure I remember it that way because I used to watch all that stuff. But yeah, cats are so it has to, I would think kids that the babies were around or with them or food, that it was there with the kill and didn't want you to get it.
quite possible.
Yeah.
Some good points on that. Yeah.
Who else you got? Who else is coming?
Well, I invited Mark Newbill.
Mark.
He's going to try and make it. And Mark Zasky. I reached out to him.
Man.
Yeah, he's not got back to me yet. Who else did I miss? BLB, but Adam's not so good.
Oh, he's not.
No.
He was going to see how he felt. Bradley's got back to me, said he's going to a Christmas party.
Yeah, he said he would show up and chat. Brad hasn't been doing well with his shoulder.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of pain all the time because they didn't just go in and fix his shoulder. This is the second time in 2 years they've had to do the same thing to him.
All right.
They took out a lot of scar tissue this time, and it's just like he can be fine. He'll move it the wrong way, and he says it's just like an ice pick in there. And they told him he's got at least another month before that's even close to good. So he has trouble being comfortable in places. And somebody is here. I see who that is.
Okay.
Hey, Tex.
How's it going? Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, man.
Tell you gonna be.
I just wanted to send Zasty a message.
Thank you, John's 3. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much. Oh, that reminds me. I want to let everybody know that what we had, I sent to Linda today. She and Hunter are going to go shopping tomorrow for the kids, for the family that we're supporting. It was almost $2,200 that we had taken up so far, and we haven't put ours in yet. Right now, we're at $1,077 from Bigfoot Odyssey. That's what the new film has made so far since we've had it out. It's doing okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're putting all of that in, and that's not counting Brad threw. I don't want to say what he put in, but Brad threw some in too. So all that's still got to go to them. So there's still a lot. We'll still take until next Wednesday. If anybody wants to throw in $5 to help this family out, we've already done really well for them, and I think they're gonna be pretty excited about it. So Linda's going to buy clothes and whatever. She had a list of stuff that she and Hunter are going to go get tomorrow, and whatever's left over, we'll just give to Mom. So thank you all from the family. It's not my place to thank anybody for it. So
My wife and my youngest daughter's out shopping for a family. We did the same thing.
That's awesome. And that's what I was telling anybody. It's you don't have to help this family here if you're capable, if you're able. Why not? There are plenty of people out there that are struggling right now, especially single mothers. Linda's good at finding the single mothers because they seem to have it the hardest. Though you can have a fully together family just trying to stay together too. But anybody can do it, and if we've prompted one person to do that, then great.
Yeah, definitely pay it forward when you can, guys.
Yeah, look, it's all self-serving. We've been helped. We were helped this time last year because we needed it. I had exhausted anything we had saved for 168, and when that got shut down, as soon as we got back from our 2 days of getting shut down, I didn't even go back out to West Texas. I was actually got halfway and got turned around because our jobs were over. And they didn't come back for 7 months.
Yeah.
So that was tough. That was tough for us, but we got help, and we're getting back up there. So we were blessed enough to do it, to get help when we needed it. So yeah, we're just, like I said, it's just to makes me feel better knowing we can help somebody else. So it is self-serving. It's serving ourselves and helping somebody else at the same time. So
even the smallest things can help people.
Look, that's what I said.
Yeah,
1,000 people put in $3. It's $3,000.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, man. It's with the platform that we all have and the people we're able to reach, man, if we come together, there's nothing we can't accomplish.
Absolutely. That was.
I agree.
Well, I've got this thing about we did the whole donations thing for the first 168, and we had like $10,200, and everything we bought from that, we had pledged that we were just going to give it away because I didn't want to keep any of it, and that's what we did. We gave it all away. We gave away 6 cameras, then 2 recorders, the 2 night vision binoculars, everything we bought with it, we gave away. But now everything I'm buying, I'm keeping because I'm buying it. And we have an executive producer that buys this stuff too. He's an incredible dude. But if he asked for it back, obviously I'd send it to him.
Yeah, it's nice having an executive producer, isn't it?
Yeah, we have 2 of them. So yeah.
I mean, as small as we are, we've got one, and man, it's just been a world of difference for us. I mean,
well, that's purely titular because they're just guys,
Yeah, exactly.
But they're helping us do what we can do.
Right.
As much work as we can get done putting into this to try to accomplish what our agenda is.
Yep.
When I tell people that, everyone tends to be a victim of their own agenda, we're right in there in the mix. We're not real big victims, but we don't fall short of anything we're trying to do. We go all the way with it, but our best anyway. Scott, thank you so much. Thank you, Scott LeFleur.
Thank you, Scott.
And I spoke to Flat Rock Booker on the phone today.
Oh,
very interesting guy. Yeah, he shows up in our lives a lot. So
yeah, he does. He does. Did you message Mark? See,
I did. Yeah, I did. I told him you sent him the link if he wants to jump on at some point. Come on.
Who owed y'all holler at?
I don't know. Daniela did all that because I've been busy and I still am not done. I got a few more things to do. But what do you bring in text? You got a story for us or something? What you got going on? What's coming up?
Well, we're headed back out to Brown Springs. We'll be out there for 6 days and 5 nights. So, or 7 days and 5 nights, whatever it is. So
144 hours.
Yeah. Still falling short of that 168, but I'm creeping up on it. But we managed to scrape a good crew. CD Squatcher's going with us. She's coming in from Florida to go. It was so funny. Yeah. It's so funny because I just texted her, give her a heads up. Hey, we're headed back out this date, this date, this date. She goes, I'm buying my ticket as I speak. I said, okay, awesome. Here we go. And I tell you what, that young lady, man, she is a trooper. She stuck with us the whole time we were out there and wore a dress the whole time, made us look like fools walking around in jeans and boots.
Yeah, Christine is she's retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she said she wanted to get out and do the Bigfoot thing. She's doing what she wants to do, and
actually she's kind of retired, but she still
works.
Yeah.
We should all envy being in that position.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
One day.
But
I don't have long in this oil field thing. A year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Depending on how things go. And I'll be able to do nothing but Bigfoot Odyssey stuff. Traveling with Linda and Brad and whoever else goes with us. And telling people stories, what we started doing.
I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, to finally quit doing this. Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's okay. It's a good career, I think, to have if anyone wanted to get into it. If you didn't graduate high school and you want to make money, go to the oil field. It's work, but they pay you pretty well. But you're selling your life, essentially.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, it's always important, I think, to, if you can, to work to live, not live to work. So
I do both.
That's really, that's really hard nowadays.
It is.
It's full on the way you're at, isn't it? Working how many days you work and
Yeah, it's 12 hours a day for a month, 5 weeks, sometimes 6. Last time before I went home, it was 7 weeks straight, every day, 12 to 14 hours. But I don't, I'm getting old. Just go ahead and say it. I'm getting too old to do the heavy tool stuff. So fortunately enough, I got to be in a consulting position, which is where I am now in my office. You can see the boards and all behind me. So I'm on the phone most of the time, and I get to go down to the batteries and the wellhead and see, just kind of watch what's going on and come back here and take care of costs and phone calls and the normal paperwork stuff. So got, like I said, very fortunate. And my boss is a Bigfoot guy.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
Nice. That works out great.
Yeah. Corey's couldn't find anybody better to work for, because I gotta say that because he might be watching. No, that's true.
Who let this guy in?
I was about to say, you didn't tell me Tex and Rooted Expeditions were going to be on.
Well, I didn't say you turned up.
Jeez. Talk about slumming today. I thought y'all had a better taste in guests.
I think what she did, she just chummed the waters and seeing who's biting. That's all she did.
Uh-huh.
And you bit.
That's still
I did. Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
all did. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Jason? What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm doing wonderfully. My daughter has decided to sneak in here for some reason.
Oh.
You good? All right. All right. Thank you. Come again. She stole my coat. Anyway.
Sure it wasn't your Slurpee. She always
No. It's my water's empty. I don't have a Slurpee. I always fill it up with water. You may put like some of this caffeine powder in there that I like, but other than that, it's always water. Yeah, no, she just walked in here, snuck off with my diet soda. I'm looking at you. And I picked her from Winter Formal yesterday, her first Winter Formal. I drove all the way out there, 2 blocks away, to pick you up from the school, and you steal my Coke. Seriously.
Terrible.
She's not even 16 yet, and she's just stealing my sodas, making me drive places to pick her up.
But she is right around the corner from 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, dangerously so. It's literally 7 days away. 7 days.
Bradley's in the chat. Hi, Brad. Thanks everyone for kind wishes for my shoulder. It's been a royal pain, literally. Figurative. I can't say that word. Kerry will be able to say it.
Literally and figuratively.
There you go.
Come on, Daniela. We were really wanting you to,
No. Thank you, Christina.
By the way, what do you call those small round fruit that come on vines? You usually put them in salads. What do you call them, Daniela?
Cherry?
Tomatoes.
Yes. Tomatoes. Exactly.
You guys don't like cherry salad? What's up?
Yeah.
You're thinking grapes.
Pickle.
What are you talking about?
Well, she didn't. She decided to skip the joke this time.
Yeah, she didn't go tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Come on, it's the same thing.
Potatoes. They don't even get me started on the biscuit and cookie thing.
All the tells on it.
Let me tell you right now. When we were deciding to do a live show, do you think I didn't have reservations about doing it with a Brit? Yeah.
Thinking about how I was going to be able to understand you? Was that
Yeah, because I was worried about you understanding us. Absolutely. And our 80% American audience.
Yeah, I could imagine.
For you to understand all of us, that's what I was really worried about.
Yeah. Well, I manage.
You do. No, I'm kidding. That is a pretty interesting story how Danielle and I got to be doing this together. But there's something about the English language. I sometimes think Daniela looks at us the way we speak. Oh yeah, hospital. I was feeling knackered, so I went to hospital.
Yeah.
I was like, didn't you go to the hospital?
What?
Just hospital. We went to hospital.
Well, Daniela has a pretty good American accent if you just let her do it. She does a pretty good job.
Oh my God.
Bring it.
I did it tonight. Actually, I was talking to a guy earlier on who's going to be on Hidden Existence next week, and he's from Texas, from San Antonio, I think. You know Ryan Tex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
remember,
at the end he said good night, and I went bye. Nah, I can't help it.
What is the nosy Bigfoot got going? He's trying to stir the pot, man.
Oh, is he? Is he? But do you say you're going to the school?
Not
Kerry?
anymore.
Or is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
Um,
And not coming back. Not as the nosy Bigfoot.
That was, and by the way, that was a total lie what he said. So.
Oh yeah, well, no, we know. Like I said, people show up. We usually have moderators to handle those things. Moderators.
Well, I was about to text.
They usually do a really good job. We got to look 40,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Your moderators can absolutely run people off for you if you don't have the right ones.
Oh yeah.
They can just clamp down so tight on chats that nobody wants to show up anymore. So these guys, these ladies, and a few gentlemen actually do a magnificent job for us. So we definitely appreciate what they do.
Yeah,
I was going to tell the story about how Danielle and I started doing this show.
Does it involve the word
let's hear
aluminum?
that.
Does it involve the word what?
Does it involve the word aluminum?
Oh, aluminium.
Have you ever? Okay,
Right.
before I hear the story, have you ever heard the Bare Naked Lady song "Aluminum"?
It's full.
Big foil.
I just use foil. It's easier.
Tin foil.
Thin foil.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not biting, Jason. You can try as much as you want.
You
Like
could say
40,000
aluminium.
subscribers. I'm going to say aluminum for you.
Aluminium.
You can't even.
Aluminium.
He bit down on the chum. Now he's trying to put some chum back out. I see.
Yeah.
Look,
Aluminium.
Daniela texts me all the time. We text back and forth with each other on Messenger, and she'll write a word like color because we spell it COLOR,
Yeah.
and they spell it COLOUR.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's color? Oh, she means color. What the hell is color?
I did apologise for the last few I used, didn't I? What we English use.
The random and completely unnecessary vowels that show up in the language. Yeah.
I'm feeling naked.
It's
I'm
like
feeling naked.
I've always tried to figure out the difference between shop SHOP and shop SHOPPE.
Yeah.
Shopped. Shop and shopped.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there a difference?
I shopped at the supermarket.
No. No
Earlier
D
today.
on the E.
No D.
SHOPPE.
Just adding
Shoppy.
2 extra letters.
Shopping.
That's it.
What is that? What is that?
It's an antiquated version of shop, is what it is. I think even the Brits have dropped it. The extra
Yeah.
P and E.
Well, they invented the language, so we really can't say anything, can we?
Exactly.
Well, they didn't invent it in so much as it just sort of bastardized itself into existence.
It is called English, by the way. So that kind of gives it away.
Jack has a good point.
Yeah, Texas Jack is correct.
Yep.
Yeah, because English is a combination of French, Latin, and Germanic languages, and they just sort of commingle. That's why, and actually, this is my most fascinating point about the evolution of English. The reason it's pork when it's killed and pig when it's alive is because when the Anglo-Saxon farmers were raising it, it's a pig because it's German. But when it was slaughtered and given to the French nobility, they said it became pork because that's pig in their language. So in English, it both survive. One is the farmers who, the people who raised it, it's a pig, and then when it's killed, it becomes pork because of who it was passed off to. So that's why whenever there's that difference in English, it's because of that reason.
Count on Jason to pull some obscure factoid out of the ether.
It's just
Yeah, I'm
Every
telling you,
time.
every time I see Jason, I'm
grabs
always
it. He
learning
just
something. I
knows
gotta
all this
write it
stuff.
down.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta do something. This sexiness alone is not reason enough. The sexiness alone is not reason for me to be on the show.
It's just spinning all around him, and he this is relevant.
Yeah.
But you learn something. You're like, yeah,
right. I'm telling you, if you want to learn something, talk to Jason McLean for an hour. You'll be coming like, wow, man, I didn't know anything. I thought I knew some stuff.
I see his brain is like a Rolodex, and when somebody flips up, it just goes to flipping. I'm like, what? Stop.
Yeah, no, it is very much a Rolodex. It just flip. There's that little guy with the coffee. He's like, oh crap, hold on.
Yeah, he's like right here, back in 1972. With this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason.
No, I was going to ask you to go on with your story.
Yeah, please. I want to hear this.
Back in 2019, this was around, was it March? I think we'd been going a year. We were coming up on 10,000 subs. And Daniela was running our Facebook group. She was number one because I wasn't going in there. I was busy doing other things. So she was running that. And I was considering doing live because I had done an impromptu live as a reaction just from my camper one day. I went outside and I hit the phone and this impromptu live and like 250 people showed up. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we can do some live stuff in between. So I was like, well, think about a program. I can't do it by myself. Not the way I want to do it. So who am I going to get? So I put this idea together that it was going to be called the Researcher's Report. Daniela was going to co-host. I was like, ask her, will you co-host with me and do this? No, that wasn't it. Daniela was just going to produce. And I was going to get different researchers to actually interview other people. So it was going to be Researcher's Report, but different, this kind of wheel of researchers that we were, kind of close with that were going to come in. And I was just going to sit and, kind of comment along. And that got to be too much planning. And so I said, Danielle, let's just me and you do this by ourselves. We can do this and we'll get guests on and we'll do it. And so that's how that happened, if anybody didn't know. And the Late Show, how Brad got involved. Brad called me out of the blue one day. He said, man, I've been meaning to call you for a year. I was like, well, why didn't you? He said, I don't know. You just seem like a busy guy. And look, I'm never that busy that I can't talk to somebody for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, sometimes an hour. I'll talk to people and listen to their story or whatever. So don't feel like you can't call me if you have my number and you want to have something to tell, because I'm going to answer that number. So we got to talking, and I was already thinking about doing a show on a different night, calling it the Late Show, because for us it was late, 9:00 p.m. That's late for us old folks in Central Time. Shut up.
You'd already had dinner at like 4 at Denny's.
Right. So yeah, the AARP is knocking down the door. So I'm listening to Brad, and he called me like 2 days in a row, and we're talking, and I was listening to his voice. I was like, this guy's got the tools. He can do this. So I said, look, man, why don't you come on the show? We'll do an interview. We'll talk about, because he had an experience when he was 10 years old. So we'll, because I didn't ask him at this point. I just asked him to come on the show, and he didn't want to do it. And it's like, I finally beat him down about it. So he comes in, we do the show, the very first late show we did. The second late show we did, the first one I did was me and Donnie Miller. And that was one of the greatest shows, just listening to Donnie. But the second one was Brad, I believe. Yeah. And after that, when it was done, I was like, see, look, it's just that simple. You're just sitting down there talking and giving your opinion about someone else's story is all you have to do. Would you do this with me? And he said, let me think about it. So he thought about it for a couple of days and got back and said, yeah, man, I'll give it a shot. And that was almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. We've been doing the live show, the Late Show, that long. So here we are, 40,000. Let's see. We were not even at 20,000 then. I think we did our 20,000 show at Christmas of 2019. Christmas 2019, we did our 20,000. Wow. And here we are, Christmas 2 years later, 20 more. Incredible.
Wow.
I got a question for Daniela. When Carrie asked you to pretty much co-host for the Researcher's Report, what was your thoughts on that? I mean, what was going through your head, or what was the whole motion for you?
We did we did a show together, didn't we? Before you started the shows, and I didn't come on camera. I was a little like, thought, why are you asking me? And you said you've got an opinion just as everybody else has. You know,
just as valid as anybody else.
As valid as anybody else. And then when we started doing the researchers report, I think I'd done a couple, hadn't I? And then other people were doing it. But I think I was into it by then. So just
but you made every thumbnail you guys see for every show, even the documentaries we do. Daniela makes those. What you're seeing here, Daniela puts all this stuff together. Setting up guests a lot of times, because people call me when it comes to the encounter stuff, but I still get with Daniela, you know, we need to book this, and she sets everything up, and the titles and the thumbnails and everything I'll see here, she's done. So it does the way it is now, the way it looks. There's no way I would do any of this. It would be a plain old black background. just keeping it 100 with you, you know. She does all the.
I was thinking
visually appealing.
I was thinking about today as well. The first, you know, at least year, we never had a returning guest.
No.
I mean, and we're doing 2 shows a week, and that's, I think, the difference with us. I know Tex does the same. We have different people on. You know, there's other channels that are doing the same thing, and I'd like to think we constantly keep it moving with new people, new opinions, new ideas, new faces, because it can get really boring, can't it, when it's just the same conversation or the same kind of thing. And you know, I hope to think that people have enjoyed the variety, because you know, it's a lot of guests to find without repeating them, and we do that a lot. Where, I mean, we do have people come back now and again, but generally we're pretty good, I think. Hey,
there he is.
Hey, he's here.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
What's up, fellas?
Look,
yeah, I was
enjoying the story of Carrie.
I was just gonna say,
was about to just get some money, Mark. About to get a bit of money to get you on here. But
man, we should have kept him backstage. That's $100, Christina. $100. No, don't you dare put $100 up there. I swear to God, I'll send it back to you. No, what I was going to say real quick is there are other people that work for the show. Cashew Gesundheit, Diane Fowler, Katie G, and they send me things, suggestions. Cashew does more work with the people, the crowds that we get, and maintaining, you know, keeping the trolls out. You guys do that, and she said I get emails from her all the time. So a lot of our guests come from suggestions from those people, and I think we had enough attention to start getting people that were recognizable. Jeff Meldrum being one, Ron Moorhead, who I finally got to meet, and look, you can't imagine feeling of walking toward this booth and there's Ron Moorhead, and you walk up there and he says your name. He knows who you are. When that happened, I was like, Ron Moorhead knows my name. I'll be. So yeah, that's the real humbling things about this, and those things should humble anybody when you see people that have got this much work in this subject, because Isaac Newton said it, if I've seen farther than others, it's because I was standing on the shoulders of those that came before me. And that's what we're doing here. And we should not spit down at them. We should recognize them and appreciate what they've done, the paths that they've forged in this. And for us, just trying not to go down the same path, but, you know, looking across this landscape and aggregating our own, and getting a set of guidelines and just sticking to them, and making our way through this insane subject, because there are so many more questions than answers in this. There's no one way that you can go that anyone can say, yeah, this is the right way to go. So we just get some guidelines of morality and transparency, and we try to keep it dynamic but stable at the same time. And those are pretty much the guidelines we go by, that we choose to use to go across this subject. And here we are. I'm sitting here with Mark Zaske. Mark Zaske sitting right there.
I'm down here.
Yeah, you're there, man. Good to see you. How are you?
Good, man. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, on the milestone. It's awesome.
40, it's a kind of an obscure milestone, but it's an even number. So why not?
It's awesome.
It's not 50, but maybe one.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
It's still a big accomplishment.
Yeah, right.
It's I'm proud of it.
No, you should be. You should be.
In YouTube terms, it's really not that many. There's plenty of people out there with for the subject, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, please.
I was just gonna say, as the creator, that's a lot. 40, heck, I remember when getting 100, I was just so ecstatic. That was a lot to me, but yeah, in the big scheme of being in the pool of deep ocean of YouTube, yeah, it may be not big, but you as the creator, that's big. That's the biggest you've ever been, really. So
YouTube has 30 million creators. 30 million. Well, there's 30 million people that have their own YouTube channel. Whether a lot of them don't create anything, but a lot of them do. That's a lot. 30 million people. Yeah,
no, it is.
I think that's just the English speaking people.
Oh yeah,
it's an active server.
Yeah, several worldwide.
And to Danielle's point, this particular genre field that we're in.
Yeah.
I mean, 40,000 is a lot of people to be watching one show on Bigfoot. I mean, y'all aren't a bunch of teeny boppers running around doing, karaoke of songs and dancing in your underwear or anything. I mean, you're having real legit. Well, you know what? It would certainly get you to 50,000 faster.
I don't know about
that'll
that.
Be true.
Depending on who's dancing.
I expect you to be dancing with body glitter, because that's actually Monday for our show.
We'll go down to 30 real quick.
Banana hammock, twerking.
Yeah, we'll go down to 30, probably 20. Yeah, we'll drop back down into single digits.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, I know a secret about Mark Zaske and something he's doing, and I think I'm going to tell people. Don't.
Is the fact he likes mood lighting?
Which one?
Throw me under the bus, Holmes. Go on, do it.
I'm going to back that bus over you.
Crypto Reality is creating another YouTube channel. And it's going to be Mark and I are actually doing something together coming up here, and
that too.
That's a side from this new channel that Crypto Reality is doing. And Crypto Reality, I've been telling people Crypto Reality is back on YouTube, that they need to go and subscribe and look and check it out, because you're not going to find actual Sasquatch with this much consistency anywhere else. You're just not going to.
Considerable sacrifice, sir.
Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice, and you guys have kind of created this Pavlovian response with these creatures and bringing the goodies that you do when you go, and knowing, just going through and making all the mistakes. And you guys, for 7 years, you guys did it, and that's why I chose Florida for this reason. We weren't going to go somewhere and just poke and hope. We went somewhere where we knew these creatures would be. All we had to do was be there and do the work and put the cameras on the bushes, because they're going to be looking at you. This is again standing on the shoulders of those that came before. So just trying to get that information, as much of it out there as we can. And the fact that Mark and Melanie were a part of what we had originally started to do was just absolutely amazing to me. It's incredible. So hats off to you guys.
The whole experience was awesome, and having everybody come, there was a lot of work that went into this that, you know, the public doesn't get to see, man. And, you know, I know how much sleep you got that week, Kerry. So it wasn't much. It was in your truck, and it was like, you know.
No, what I remember is being woke up. People say, "Hey, man, look, somebody woke me up to ask me if I was sleeping." That ain't no lie. That happened.
That's awesome.
I'm not gonna say his name, but he's about 6'8". I'll say that ought to give it away.
We got a lot of good stuff coming up, man. A lot of good stuff.
Christine,
a lot of good stuff coming up, and you know, we're gonna take this stuff to the next level. It's just evident that that's what's happening. So we're gonna keep moving that way. You know,
I'm actually going into the woods with Mark. That's happening. Believe it or not.
That's awesome. Yeah, for now.
Yeah, we're gonna encounter some Sasquatch, man. So you know, I hate it.
That's a big step. That's a big step, Barry.
I absolutely hate it, but it has to be done. So
it's got to. Well, you know what we've got, the support that we have doing this, and the equipment that we've got coming to do this thing. You know, running around with video cameras that are decent is okay, but having that equipment that you can reach out there in those dark places where they are and get them clear, that it's going to, someone's going to look at that and say, oh, okay, this is actually happening out here. That's what we're trying to do, is that, because this look, we did it. Bigfoot Odyssey did it 13 times. We went to someone's place. We told their story, their whole Odyssey, everything they had gone through, the evidence they collected, the experiences that they had, and where they had them. But we got to go further. We got to go. We'll still do those things because that stuff is interesting and you can learn things from it. But incorporating that other side is what Mark and I are going to do. I'm going to do my part. He's going to do his part, and we're going to marry the two, and it's going to be something different that I haven't seen anybody do it. Not that way.
You know how you like really look forward. Well, I know I used to, and a long time ago, to the Bigfoot Friday night show thing, and the documentaries coming on Wednesday night, and all that stuff, and then you watch it and like nothing really happens. Yeah, that's not going to be this. You know, 12
million people watch,
but we're actually going to see some stuff. You know.
Yeah, we're going to show you something. Whether you believe it or not, we're actually getting the tech, the equipment to get it much clearer, because those 150, 160 yard shots that are still pretty clear but are fuzzy on the edges, we're doing away with that. That's going away. Yeah. These things are going to be caught as clear as we can possibly get them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the tech that we're trying to iron out right now, if I was shooting with that, the upgrade itself is 4 times the clarity. So
right,
I can maintain my safe perimeter and keep my wife safe first and foremost, and still now advance all of the research clarity on the individuals and the identification of the individuals by 4 times. So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, me too. It's huge. And not just that, not just the daytime stuff, but the night stuff. The new scopes they come out with now that we're getting 2 of these scopes that you can put on a monopod, Bluetooth to your iPad. An iPad has got their biggest upgrade yet, a terabyte of, and that's 4K also. But being able to hold that scope up over those 7-foot palmettos and move it around and be able to look at this screen and see what you're looking at clearly, and recording on the scope and in your hand, and being able to review in real time in the field what you're looking at. That's going to be big.
Provide all kinds of possibilities because of the way they parallel the trails, and there are those mini trails that were off the sides, and you know, Newberry found some of those when he was doing his little run through over there. They parallel the trail, so that technology really puts it in our hands, where when we're going to be able to identify these things in real time. And having been in that situation there with thermals before, I can tell you, man, it's like it's very frightening.
Yeah, I'm not really looking that much forward to it.
What you see on thermals when they're like close like that is like run. You just want to run. You know what I mean? Because there's like
Yeah.
a bunch of big things, you know.
Well, you were
So
talking
I'm
about
looking forward to it, but I'm not.
You were
know?
talking about Mark Newberry, and I know you meant Martin Newbill.
What's up?
He actually showed up.
Mark.
Good to see you, man.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up,
The
man?
party now.
Hey, we're gonna have some audio for you soon, buddy.
Good deal.
Oh yeah.
Good deal.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know if I'd make it on here. We actually Larry Porch and Shelly Reed and I just got back. We kind of celebrated. You know, we had these tornadoes that come through here. And
yes.
Shelly was within 200 feet of one of the ones that rode through. I mean, just barely missed her. And so we kind of went out and celebrated a little bit tonight that the groundhog's not bringing her mail.
Yeah, that's celebrating life right there, isn't it?
That's an interesting way of saying that.
I ain't gonna be on here but a second. I just walked in the door, but I just wanted to congratulate Carrie and Linda and Daniela and Bradley, and it's awesome that y'all hit 40K. It's just absolutely awesome, and
it's crazy.
I'm tickled for y'all. I really am.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you and all the help you've given us too. You know, we can thank you for quite a bit of that, actually.
Well, it's an honor to be on here with all these guys, Tex and Jason, Root.
No, maybe not Tex, but everybody else.
Everybody has that reaction.
Absolutely, it is.
And we feel the same having you on, Mark.
Yeah.
And getting to know you through Bigfoot Odyssey.
Well, you know,
not Newbill, not Mark Zaskett. I mean Mark as well. But,
thank you, Tim.
It's just an honor, you know. And for me, it's more about the friendships that I've made. You know, I think about all the people that I go out and hang with and run around with. I would have never known none of these people if it hadn't have been for Bigfoot. And so,
same here.
As bad as this community is, and as many times as you want to grab somebody by their collar and drag them across a parking lot, you know.
That's my fault. I apologize.
I think about, you know, I think about the good stuff.
Yeah, definitely balances out. Well, it outweighs it when you think about it. It definitely we outweigh the negative.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Keeping everything in the affirmative, and not saying, you know, I can't do this, but I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So that positive and negative coin I was telling Zach earlier, it's two sides of the same coin. We control the flip. It's up to us whether we want to keep how we want to keep this thing going, and keeping it positive as we possibly can. It's how we've done it. It's how we continue to do it until we're done.
Yeah,
which hopefully is a long time. But I think we're coming up on an hour and 20. We're not going to be here very much longer, but I can't.
There's so few people now, Carrie. There's so few people that don't understand what's going on. That it's in 10 years, it's been completely reversed. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was completely a landslide in the other direction 10 years ago, and that was after my first 10 years, and it was a nightmare then. I was ready to just fall down and quit, but seeing it now the way it is and the way people are receiving the information, it's night and day. I think it has a lot to do with, you know, the amount of time that's gone by and all of the people that have been involved in the research community moving, you know, further toward validation for the last decade, man. Channels like yours that are growing, putting the word out. This is what we need. And this is what, you know, we're going to need even more of moving forward to validate, you know.
Shifting the culture. Absolutely.
Reality setting the history. I mean, that's what it is the reality of it.
I think one of the things that I've been seeing happen here recently is we're kind of shutting down and kind of the hoaxers, we're sweeping them away because they can't play with us anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the way we're presented, they don't have a leg to stand on. You know, they're left to throwing dirt on us, and you know, we just brush it off and keep on going. So
yeah, critical thinking becomes being critical of people. It's the same old story.
Yeah. Well, but once the shit, like we had Monster Quest and Finding Bigfoot, like those were huge, you know, sort of bringing a lot of people in. But then I think this is really where things like, again, Bigfoot Odyssey, what's really pushed it over the edge are channels like you, Carrie, and Mark, and it's certainly not us. But, you know, y'all been around for a while. Y'all been and as people come in and they hear all of these stories and people that they knew started, you know, coming on your show, and it became, oh, hold on, I've kind of been through that, or it became safe for people to come out and say, I've done this, and this is an environment you create. You helped very much create the comfort of being able to come out and say, this happened to me. A lot of people have been starting to hear, and it's like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't just turn this around. Again, it's only been within the last few years that people I'd known 20, 30 years came out and said, so let me tell you something that happened to me. And I'm like, I've known you 20, 30 years. Why am I just now hearing this story? It's because people like you, Daniela, y'all have helped create an atmosphere where people feel it's safe to come out and tell these fantastic stories, these stories that are supposed to be impossible.
Well,
and as people have heard them, they begin to accept them as reality.
I've got to give it to Germer because he really started it. And, you know, and like I said earlier, we wouldn't be this far along without him. No way. Him, Dixie Cryptid, places, you know, people that really garner attention. The Sasquatch Chronicles is downloaded about 2.5 million times a month as a podcast. YouTube is nothing, you know, for a show like this. So the amount of people that they reach, that he reaches, but he broke this ground. He forged his own path through here, and I think we just kind of follow along. I don't think if there's much more we can do aside from getting to see the people tell it and actually seeing us respond and reply. But you're right, confirmation. I think most people are looking for something similar to what they've experienced. Because confirmation makes you feel better, makes you feel like you're not crazy. Good. Yeah. Somebody else experienced this besides me. So I think that's part of what you're saying, Jason, and providing a place where people can find that. And it just turned into that. That's not what we originally planned to do. So, but you got to feel your way through it. And I think we're still doing that, but I think I feel good about what we've done and how far we've come, and what's coming is going to be 10 times greater, guys. It just is. We're Mark, Saskia, and myself are going to work. And when we go to work, it's actual work.
Yeah. We'll be going to work in the right areas. I can tell you that.
Florida Boys Ventures. Boom. I like that beanie. King.
I think
probably is too.
Anytime you can take somebody out and teach them the difference between a stick and a snake. And
oh man, here we go.
Man.
Sorry.
Round one.
I heard a song.
It's about to get ugly here.
I heard a song that
You're taking some dummies out with you, Hoss. Just say
He takes me out all the time. Of course he does.
I heard a song that I thought Mr. Zach would appreciate the other day, and it was Sneaky Snake. And I'm thinking, man. But
no inside jokes here, okay? No inside baseball.
Because, okay, so
go ahead, Zach. Go ahead.
We were driving, right? So we were seeing snakes and stuff on the trail. And we come across one. He's like, that's a snake. And I said, that looks like a stick. I said, that's a stick. We got closer because we're a good distance, but we got closer. Sure enough, dang thing was a dang snake. I was like, oh shoot, good thing I didn't pick that stick up.
I told him,
Don't mess with a country boy.
I said,
Don't mess with him.
Go on out there and grab that stick and throw it once.
This stick is moving.
Country boys already know. Especially in the South. Do you ever go squirrel hunting when you're young in the South, Tex? I know you have.
Oh yeah.
And you run across a snake, you're not squirrel hunting anymore. You're snake hunting from that point.
Yeah.
Because your eyes are glued to the ground. It'd be squirrels running all around up here. You're looking for that next one, buddy.
Yep.
So interesting. But hey, look, I've got to jump off. I still got a lot of work I got to get done. I want to thank everyone here for showing up. You guys were all invited for a reason. Brent Thomas, who had to jump off, go to his show. You guys go to Paranormal Portal and just see how he does that over there. I think you'll enjoy the atmosphere. You guys enjoy being in chat and chatting with each other and having your own little side conversations and things that are going on there. I think you'll enjoy what he does over there, because some of the stories he gets, it's just like here. People send them in. And I want to thank everyone that's hit that red button for us. And it truly means a lot. It really does. So thank you 40,000 times. You guys, Daniela, thank you 1,000,000 times for everything you've done. It would no way we'd be here without you doing this. But the things that the things that are coming, we're gonna work very hard, whether we accomplish it or not. We're gonna work ourselves as hard as we possibly can to move things forward and actually show you something. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're gonna do. If not, it ain't gonna be because we didn't try. But Zach, Rooted Expeditions, you guys go check out Rooted Expeditions. Not Expositions, not that channel. Don't dare go to that one. Go to Rooted Expeditions because Zach has become a really good filmmaker. You guys watch what he's doing. Very dynamic stuff over there, and the places he's going. Some paranormal stuff happening. Just saying. Trinity Paracryptid Research, Tex and Jason, you guys have made mile strides also, and we appreciate you guys coming. Of course, Sawdust Beast. There are no words for what you and Larry do over there. No one else that I know of could ever do the back and forth that you guys have in the way you do your show, and how you get so many famous dang people on there. I don't know, but I don't know what Debbie Jones is doing to get them famous people on up there, but y'all keep going, keep doing it.
Just don't tell Larry.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate you very much. And Mark and Melanie, Crypto Reality. What Bigfoot Odyssey wouldn't be here. I would not be doing this if I hadn't contacted you 5 years ago and you guys said, hey, come down to Florida, come do this with us. I wouldn't be here doing this now. If I hadn't watched Mark Zasky edit film, I would have had no idea how to even begin. I still didn't know what I was doing, but just seeing him actually do it and as fast as he was going, he's just amazing.
Well, congratulations, man. You guys worked hard and you deserve all the success you're getting.
Thank you. Appreciate you very much. But thanks everybody for showing up here tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, 5:00 p.m. Central, Sunday Encounters. Do we know who's coming yet?
We don't.
We don't?
Well, there'll be someone here.
Yeah, well, I'll either be reading stories or somebody will be telling one or the other.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hey, Kerry, congratulations again, brother.
Yes.
And you know, it's been great, you know, meeting you a few years ago and, you know, seeing this thing take off, and it's just, I couldn't be prouder of you, brother.
Thanks, man. Very much appreciated.
Good night, everyone.
God bless.